It's not exactly first thing in the morning, but regardless, I still haven't showered. And the sun is out, so we're going to try and focus on painting today. And one way I focus is by making videos. It helps to keep me accountable. I know people are watching, like somewhere in my ego, I go, people are watching me because I'm fantastic, so I have to make these videos. Ta-da! And then my head will be in the game and I will find success and da 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 da. But what I want to talk about today, besides how crazy I am, uh, I was going to submit to 2 open calls this past month, this March. And I applied to one, which is here in town, and the show was about color. But unfortunately, the two that I ended up submitting weren't colorful enough. They weren't right enough. And part of me goes like, so I wasn't accepted. Part of me saw the denial letter or whatever it's called, and I went, oh, how dare they? I'm a genius. They should know better, and history will prove them wrong. And then the other part of me goes, well, you're an idiot because they weren't really what the paintings weren't really what they were looking for anyway. I had spent several months getting 4 or 5 paintings ready to submit to this one show, and then after reading the guidelines and rereading the guidelines and rereading them again just before I submitted, I reread them again and realized that 2 of the 4 paintings that I was going to submit, um, they weren't eligible because one of them was a portrait that I had done, for someone, so it was not for sale. The second one is already sold and is going to its new home in a couple or sometime. It's already sold, so it's not eligible because they wanted work that was for sale. So I submitted 2 other pieces that I had been trying to get ready for this. One of them was perfect, I thought, but small, and the other one, as much as I've labored over it, it's still, there's something still not right about one of the faces, so I've turned it against the wall so I don't have to look at it a while, and when I turn it back, I will hopefully see it with new, fresh eyes and be able to fix it. But regardless, they weren't accepted. And my ego was thrown out of whack for about 30 seconds, and then I went, well, they weren't really appropriate, and why would they want you anyway, is my other thought, because there's got to be something wrong with them if they want you. There's something weird about, group of people that want you. You shouldn't trust them. But then I go, why don't they want me? I just go back and forth. So anyway, the other submission I was going to do, I've had the date written in my calendar for months. March 22nd, I believe, is the date that I had in my calendar. March 22nd was the submission date, the deadline date. Excuse me. I think that was it. It was sometime. Anyway, I went to submit to this open call where you apply to become a member. They have to see 5 recently painted pieces, like within the past year or 2 or something. And I had my 5 ready to go. Looked at the deadline date again, and it actually, the entire submission application was gone from the website a couple of days before I thought I had to apply. That's where we are. So a couple of days before I thought I had to apply, I went on, and the whole thing was gone. The open call was off their website, which means I missed it. I don't even know when it was now. I like to think I'm a reasonably organized person, and then I do that. And I have done it with this one particular gallery and organization in Connecticut. 3 open calls in a row now. 3. I applied to them 2 years ago, Silvermine Gallery, and there's a couple of videos about Silvermine somewhere in my library of videos. But I applied to them. They invited me to come and show with them, and to possibly become a member. But on the day that we had to go and hang our work, for review, I destroyed one of my paintings on the ride down. It was ripped and to shreds, and it was just a mess. But they said, look, you can apply again. The second, that was in spring 2 years ago. In the fall, I was going to reapply. No, I don't know. Anyway, 3 times in a row now, I've screwed up the deadline date and the submissions. So now I got to wait another 6 months before I apply for membership there. So either I'm crazy and I'm banging my head against a wall here, and life is saying that, don't even bother, or life is saying, show you're determined. You just prove to yourself that this is what you want and you stick to it. I don't know. Either way, I need a babysitter because I never know when I'm supposed to be, what time I'm supposed to leave, where, when, how. I never know the particulars. And somehow I always get it wrong when I think I've got it right. It's just all I think about is working. This is all I do. I keep working towards being able to do nothing but paint. Because this is all I want in life, is to paint. Paint and create and illustrate, work on my books, which I've been too tired to do because of the pneumonia. This is all I want. So I think that's what I have to, that's my primary focus. I think. Or it could be frittering around with open calls, because that will help get my name out there and get me somewhat recognized in the place where I live, which I have no recognition, I don't think, or a little. There's so much to think about here. It's just too much, and it's too early, and I don't feel well. But I am going to be painting today, and one of the things I'm going to be painting are Christopher Hitchens. I've been working on my portrait of Christopher Hitchens off and on, sort of. But my main focus for the next day or two are going to be the folds in his shirt. I love painting fabric. And here is why. I love painting fabric because I figured out how. And so this is what I'm going to share with you today, my wisdom on painting fabric. I love cotton. There's something about blue and white cotton that makes me super happy, and khaki cotton. I love cotton. Cotton jeans, but mainly cotton shirts. And cotton skirts too. I did a painting of a girl in a cotton lacy skirt that so much fun. Now, I used to think when I first started painting from black and white photographs and painting fabrics, which I really wanted to understand, I used to think you had to do a solid line. When there was white in the fabric, you had to do a solid line. And it's only taken me about 30 years to figure this one out. When you're painting the fabric, I don't have any white down here. When you're painting the fabric, you're actually painting the lights and the darks, of course. Duh. You're painting the lights and the darks, but you're painting the folds in the lights and the darks. So what you want to pay attention to is the shapes in the lights and the darks. You don't want to go, it's white, I'm going to do all white in here and that'll indicate light. No, it just indicates that it's you're making a mess. That's all it is. So what you're doing, what you should be doing, or what I've learned to do, excuse me while I mix something up, is I look at the shadow, I look at the line there, I go on the outside of that particular shape. I don't paint this all dark. I go on the outside, kind of like the heights of the dark, the heights of the fold, the height and the depth, but I don't know if I'm making any sense. I can barely breathe, it hurts so much with this lung thing. But anyway, I'm painting the shapes, I'm painting the triangles, I'm painting the rectangles, I'm painting all the outsides of the shape, outsides of the white. Outside of the white, not that big rectangle there. There's a shape here that there is no name for except not a triangle. So I'm painting that. And that will indicate to the eye, to the brain, to the cerebral hemorrhage, to the soul of the viewer, that that's a shadow. You don't need to, you don't need to paint the whole thing in. As my mom used to say, all you need is an indication. All you need is a suggestion, Rebecca. You just need to make a suggestion. You don't need to explain the whole thing to people. So that's it. Make the suggestion of the light and the dark, and I'm going to do that in the shirt, and it will make the folds feel like folds. It will make the lights feel like lights and the darks feel like darks. And it'll give you more room to get in and make detail. If that's all you're doing is drawing shapes in different shades of light and darks, I'm going to go have some coffee and try and breathe and hopefully pull it together for the rest of the day. Ciao.